like tell you where to be, where to go, what to do in your life? Do you have like 4 or 5 of those people?
400 or 500.
Yeah, I bet that would be a little tiring.
But no, here's the thing. Let's just get down to the nitty gritty. You guys are the only thing that matter right now. So let's just get back to you all. Right. Don't worry about me. I'm here for you all. What can I do for you? What would you guys like to talk about? How is your day going? That's what I want to know.
Actually, it's not bad. Not a bad day so far.
It's very cold.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, has anybody ever called you and asked you legitimately, how are you doing today? Are you having a nice afternoon?
Not legitimately.
I
mean, they say hey, how are you? But I say that to complete strangers, and the truth is, I don't mean it, and I don't want to know.
I spent $800 getting my car repaired this morning. Steve's dog blew his ACL out, which will be thousands.
Be her, and we're right around $6,000
that's
right
how
now.
we're doing. So if you have any money you'd like to throw our way, that'd be great.
I mean, let's ask ourselves a question real quick. How, and I love dogs, but how in the world is it more expensive to fix a dog's ACL than it is a human being's? I'm curious about this.
That's the question that I had. And basically, the vet just gives you a look.
Or is that just a random number you're throwing out?
No.
It's a hard number.
We had to drop about $1,000 to get the X-ray to tell us what we already knew, which that her ACL was blown, and then that's like another $5,000. And I'm like, dude, she's got 4 legs. Surely she can get by in 3. But my wife insists that we spend the money. And you know what it is? Because dogs are cute. That's it. If it's an ugly dog, she's gone. But she's cute. Yep.
Hey,
all
Brent.
dogs have a cuteness factor in them. But here's my question.
All right.
Well, I know it's subjective. So is art, by the way. But my curiosity would be this. It is a dog, and what do dogs love to do? I mean, most dogs love to just take off and run. So with a operation like this for a dog, I'm curious to say, how are you going to keep them off their leg for, what are you going to have to do, at least 6 weeks?
What they do is
they can take off.
So I had the same question. Brent, they got us covered. Basically, you sedate the living piss out of your dog. That's all it is.
And then they poop all over your house.
No.
Yeah, that's the problem. It also gives them diarrhea. So, the dog's kind of lethargic, doesn't want to do anything. I get it, and stay off her leg. But she'll kick that leg up and crap on the steps. So and for $6,000, I get to clean poop.
That's going to be a lot of drugs. You got an active dog.
We have we tried to explain that to him. So seriously, they originally gave her a sedative. And the sedative, this should calm her down. It did nothing. We called the vet and
it did nothing. Yeah.
It did nothing. So we had to give her 2 sedatives instead of 1, because she's just that hyper. And it kind of worked.
Just real quick, I will say this. Now, I don't want anybody that's listening to this to be like, no, he's not a doctor. He's not a veterinarian. He shouldn't be saying anything about that. And they're absolutely right. I'm not. But what I've had experience with is I know a lot of people that have dogs, and when they have something where, they need to kind of be immobile, there is this thing with dogs with sedatives. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. But the one thing that I have found that works, and obviously check with the veterinarian before anything, but what I have been told by friends of mine, that Benadryl actually works wonders and does sedate them, and it's better than an opioid.
I've heard
veterinarian about that.
I thought you were going to go weed gummies
or beer. Beer sedates them too.
No.
And look, you're not a veterinarian, but I've heard veterinarians do karaoke. They have no business singing, so I think it's fair.
That's right. Hey,
I have no business singing karaoke, to be honest.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
You should actually sneak in.
Do it all the time
and do some Shinedown songs and see if anybody notices. Just wear a disguise.
I maybe could do that, but I'm not walking up there trying to perform cherry pie. I would butcher that probably.
No, you wouldn't.
It would be kind of fun though if a drunk guy was like, "Yeah, you almost sound like that guy. Keep trying."
So close,
man. Almost. Now, what I would do though is I would totally just for fun. If I was at a karaoke place, I always I did this back in the day, but I would go up and I would do Sinatra songs, and I would try to bring it home every time, and it was always a fun experience to watch these drunkards just start clapping and more encore. So Sinatra, I might be able to pull that off.
Good times. Hey, thank you for coming up and doing our first ever Unwrapped acoustic holiday at Angel of the Winds. That was a good time.
I had the most amazing time at that event. Seriously, there was such a cool, awesome vibe at that. I know that was the first time that you had done it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to think that it was successful. I felt like it was successful. There was that's the first time that me and Zach have walked out and, just me and him and done it in an arena per se. Like when we're on the road with the band, we have sections of the show, where we'll kind of like bring everything down. We'll do a B stage thing, but that's full band. But like to walk into an arena setting, just me and Zach, and see the place just full up. I was like, wow, this is a way more
crazy.
Kind of intense situation. But I thought you guys did great, and it was a really cool event.
Well, you're coming back Saturday night, April 4th, the Moore Theater. It's the Amplify Courage show. You, along with Nancy Wilson of Heart. Who else going to be there? Mike Inez from Alice in Chains, our buddy Ayron Jones, and our favorite MC ever, Craig Gass, for a night. And you're going to do a benefit show for bullying prevention. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. So, she's since retired, and she's like such a family member to the band. But our business manager of 20 plus years, her name is Lori Davis. She's a part of this organization too, and she brought it to me and Zach and asked about it and if we would be a part of it. And we said absolutely. And then I got to be totally honest with you, the fanboy. I'm going to do the best that I can the evening that we play this, because the fact that Nancy Wilson is going to be there, when I found that out, I was a little bit like, say what?
Yeah.
And
really?
So that's going to be, I'm going to do my best to not completely melt down and be a fan.
Don't be that guy, man. Don't be that guy. So you've never met her before, I guess.
No, I have not. And I probably will just be like, hello, nice to meet you, if I even get a chance to say hello to her. But, Heart, I don't think I've ever, said this out loud, but one of my, I was a huge Chris Cornell fan, and I still am. And one of the things about Chris Cornell was when I was a teenager and I was, I remember getting super unknown and then reading every single article I could about Chris Cornell and Soundgarden, and he was always talking about one of his, if not his biggest influence, was Heart. And I didn't really know a lot about Heart at the time. And because of Chris Cornell, it took me down all of these wonderful rabbit holes, if you will, of learning about Heart and just how awesome of a band they are. So I have, over the years since then, I'm a massive fan. So just to even be able to be on the same show as her and be a part of that is it's a big deal.
Yeah. And not only that, as far as bullying goes, it's a different world. When we grew up, we all got bullied.
It is.
But now it's on the internet.
Right.
Now it's worse.
We kind of had like a school prescribed bully, right? So elementary school, you knew who the bully was, and it wasn't even really personal towards you. They were just the bully. Everybody got bullied. And then Miles is right. Online, now you can have 100,000 people dogging you.
My daughter, her biggest issue was what her friends, supposed friends, were saying about her, on social media.
Right.
And it absolutely devastated her. It was, one of those things where she couldn't stand being on it. She got off of it more than I did. I mean, she was going back and forth trying to be on Instagram and all this stuff, and she was like, sometimes it's just not worth it.
It's not. So what was your situation like growing up, man? I mean, were you ever a bully? Did you get bullied?
Without question, I got bullied. I get bullied now. You know what I mean? It's very interesting. Here's my thing about all of that. I just refuse to hate anyone, no matter what they do. The fact of the matter is, and what I mean by that, especially when you're talking about a bully, it is very true. A lot of times the bully is probably the one being bullied the most behind the scenes. That doesn't give them a pass. But when I was a kid, my dad taught me, he didn't do it with boxing gloves or anything like that, but my dad knew that I was getting messed with pretty much from middle school on into high school. But I remember probably 7th or 8th grade, I would say. My dad was just like, look, I'm going to need to teach you how to defend yourself. It's not so much the offense as it is the defense. Because back in the day, it was very physical. People just didn't care. They would mess with you on the school bus. They'd mess with you in the hallways.
Oh, yeah.
The community, pool that everybody went to and what have you. You would have... The fact is that my dad taught me at an early age, he goes, it doesn't matter if you don't win the fight, but you cannot under any circumstances, allow them to continuously keep coming into your personal space and messing with you. And my dad just came from this school where he's like, I'm going to teach you how to throw a punch. I'm going to teach you, how to block a punch. I'm going to teach you what you need. And then you're kind of on your own, but you got to be a man and you got to stand up for yourself. And you're right. Now with social media and just like what people can really do, it's very cruel. But what I would say to anybody is, you always no matter what, this is something that is very, very important. Do your best to, de-escalate the situation if you can, and a lot of times I remember the bullies that I had, like I would let them, kind of get it out, and maybe they'd leave me alone, maybe they wouldn't. But if they wouldn't leave me alone, the first thing I did is I would just be like, what is your problem with me? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Like, and for some reason, that would kind of throw them off their game, and they didn't really know what their problem was with me. And then there were certain, and by the way, there were certain guys that it was one of those things where it's just like, I just don't like you. I just don't like the way you look. I don't like the way you walk. I don't like the way you talk. And honest to God, what I did at that point is I just basically took my book bag off, threw my books down, and said, all right, dude, bring it, right here and now.
I did that once and got punched in the face.
Oh, dude, I got punched in the face. I got punched in the ribs. I got punched, in the groin, you name it. But the thing is, the thing for me is, a lot of them were kind of ties, because I think once I was like, all right, man, bring it on. They weren't really expecting that. And I got my ass handed to me a couple of times, but you know what happened after that? That person never messed with me again because they knew that I was going to stand up.
Well, that's the truth of it, right? We always talk about lions, right? And on this big fierce animal, and they are. But also they go after the old, the infirm, or the young. Right? Because any other animal, you're going to fight back. If a zebra kicks you in the face, the lion says, all right, I'm not going to go after that zebra.
And now, ironically enough, you're in the best shape of your life. You could kick their ass now. Have any of those people now ask for maybe a pair of tickets to see the show?
I've never had that actually happen where there was somebody that reached out to me later on. No, I've never had anything like that happen. And again, look, I got to be really, really, we have a song literally called Bully.
Yeah.
And, at the time when that was being presented to the public, the question was okay, well, what is it about though? And it's still the same as it was then as it is now. And that was about, if somebody is coming into your sphere and into your personal space and they are attacking you, then sometimes you may just have to attack them back.
Agreed.
But that song is very much about not turning the other cheek and standing up for who you are. And it can be extremely terrifying to be put in a situation like this. But at the end of the day, you have got to have enough inside of yourself. I know that it can be terrifying to be put in a situation like that. And again, like I said, you want to de-escalate it if you can. But I know it might be something that's really frightening, but you got to stand up for yourself.
Are you going to do bully?
Yeah. That makes total sense why we would do it.
How about cherry pie?
You know what? Because this is actually occurring now and we're bringing cherry pie into the conversation, you may get cherry pie from me and Zach.
Just as long as it's not when the children cry. Or what do you want to hear, Ted? Rocky Top?
Rocky Top.
Ted is still going for Rocky Top.
Yeah, I know the main couple of lines of Rocky Top. I probably know when the children cry more than Rocky Top.
Well, good news, dude. I'm taking lessons on my ukulele, so next time I see you, I'll just play it.
Dude, bring it on. Let's go.
Oh, you must have missed the part where he said ukulele. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of Tiny Tim covers.
Okay. The ukulele is a fine instrument.
Are you just saying that because Ted's standing there? And what would you say if Ted couldn't hear us? That's the dumbest instrument.
I would say that I've only seen one person play the ukulele and make it cool, and that's Tyler from 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, it's funny because Ted was asking me, dude, who else plays ukulele? And there's Tiny Tim and
Tyler from 21 Pilots plays a ukulele like a boss.
I'm almost sure that Nancy Wilson plays ukulele from the Lovemongers in Battle of Evermore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got a ukulele in it.
Okay.
There you go.
Nancy Wilson can play whatever she wants.
And you're fine with it. Right there with you. Amplify Courage is a Saturday night, April 4th at the Moore Theater. I look forward to seeing you there, Brent.
I'm looking forward to seeing you guys and girls too, man. Thank you so much for giving the awareness to this show and to this organization. It does mean a great deal to us, and especially to our friend Lori Davis, who is a Seattle native. And I really appreciate you guys and girls supporting this. It means a lot to us, so thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, thank you, man.
We appreciate it. Good talking to you, Brent.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of the day.
All right,
See you,
take
brother.
care.